Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is Cheryl Chapman, the roving reporter for Radio W.O.R.K.S, and I am just saying hello from Toronto. I don't even know if that's a good accent, so I'm apologising to everybody. Hello, Marina, how are you, lovely?
I'm so excited that you are in Toronto. Actually, you said it better than me. So Cheryl, I know you've been from east to west. No, first from west to east, then back to west, go up to North America, and you are now, for me, you are the women version of Niagara Falls. So tell me more.
Well, yes, I was here. I did come over here. I came here on Thursday evening, and of course, I went back in time by 5 hours. So that was quite good. Got time to relax and sleep. I have this little theory that when you get on a plane, that you should set your clock to where you're going, and that served me, really well to avoid jet lag, etc. But the bed that I had on the plane on the way out was a bit too comfortable, so I did actually sleep and put myself out a little bit, but it was okay. I'm perfectly fine. I'm in the time zone, ready to go. And I met a friend, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, like you don't even look like you've just come off a plane." But it's part of the way that you deal with life, I guess, because so many people go, "Oh my gosh, are you not jet lagged?" And I'm like, no, because there's things you can do. So, when people say to you, "Oh my God, isn't life shit?" or whatever, you go, no, because there's things you can do. I think everyone just accepts that you get jet lag.
Yeah,
And I'm not
I
saying
never got jet lag, so I don't know why everybody was asking me.
it's this big
I,
phenomenon
I
that,
I think I think it's the fear or the excuse they put in front of them. Oh, I'm not going to go there because I'll surely get jet lagged or something. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a overstatement because travel is not about getting itchy and being tired and not knowing where you are. I think travel is about opening your mind. And that's why we're here to listen to you. And I'm sure it's something so amazing today that our listeners are going to question their own decisions. And surely they will wake up into something else. Let's
I
see
hope.
what it is.
Yeah, let's see what it is. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know that the body gets affected by the atmosphere and all the rest of it. So, but I just think that it's mind over matter sometimes. But interestingly enough, when I got off the plane and I was just heading towards the passport control, and I chose the travelator. I mean, they call it a movator, I think, over here. Someone was
Yes,
saying
yes,
a movalator or something.
yes.
So the travelator, and I thought I'll just get on here. And I was stood there. I mean, and I was walking, because I know you have the option of standing still or walking on it. And I just get these moments. I don't know if you're the same, where I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like freaking life, because I've got on here. It's the easy option. I know where I'm going and I'll just get there. And that was fine for what I wanted to do for that particular moment in time, which was get from A to B. And I knew exactly where I was going. But then I thought, how boring is it to be on a travelator? Like, it's just like you don't need really any effort. You just go wherever it takes you, and that's fine. But then I thought, well, it's a bit like life, because 4 years ago, that's what I was doing. I was on a travelator of life, absolute, freaking zombie, in a trance, and off I was going. And I did get somewhere, but it wasn't exciting. And I just suddenly thought, do you know what? If I jumped over this bar now, I've got a choice. I can run, I can go backwards, I can mess about, I can have a laugh, I can be really serious, I can walk slow. There's so many more options when you don't stick to the travelator. Does that make sense?
Total sense. Some of us choose for a very long time to go on slow motion. And you know what's happening is slowing it down. And I never use the travelator or moverator, whatever it's called, myself, because I feel that is holding me back and I want to get somewhere. Even, between flights, you have plenty of time most of the time. Sometimes it's like 12 hours or something. So surely it's no need for me to go on the fast, free, go for it, where nobody else is. It's totally free. Nobody else goes there, and all the luggages are wheels. Have wheels. So really, for me, it is like a big mystery. Why on earth they choose to queue and stand behind each other on the slow motion mood when they could use the rest of the space, which is free. And I could never understand, but I think it's an automatic reaction to what is available. So I don't know if you look at the train stations as well. I love traveling by train, and there will be a slow train, and then there will be a fast train, and people don't care. They just get on, and they don't really care if it's a fast or a slow train. And I'm wondering, how on earth would they have that luxury? Don't we live the same time or the same length in our lives, or aren't we blessed with the same energy and decisions? And to me, Cheryl, is always about, can I afford to take it slowly? Can I afford to go into slow motion? No, I can't. I feel this urgency to deliver whatever it is that is, even when some some people put a lead, like, oh, you can't do this, you can't, this is crazy, and then you are thinking, oh, thank you, because that lead is going to make my vision pot boil and go into into a big scandal, because in my mind I'm thinking, okay, you are stopping me, you want me to slow down, I'm going to do the opposite. Yes. Because I can't afford to stop. I can't afford to slow down. It's not a luxury I have in this lifetime.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because when people see me, they go, oh my gosh, you're here, you're there, oh my gosh, you're really doing this. And I'm like, but I don't feel like I'm doing anything unusual. Does that make sense? There's nothing special about me. I got on a flight. I came over here. I wanted to help a few people. I have to say that, the women that were in the room, and there were some men as well, actually, even though it was a women-only event, which was quite interesting. But the women in the room, they wanted to stand. It's almost like I felt like they wanted someone to say, look, this is what you need to do to make your life better. And of course, I gave them, shared as much as I could with them. But some of them are just stuck. And it's so frustrating that they're just accepting. And, I can see some absolutely brilliant people in the room. A lot of them came up and spoke to me at the end. They were like, oh my gosh, no, I love what you're doing. And I'm like, but what are you doing with your life? And they're like, oh, I
would love to love what you do. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, but you wouldn't. Do it then, do it. That's what's needed. And interestingly enough,
just 1 second, because I opened your book at page 35. Find your why to become freaking awesome. Please, our listeners, go to Amazon, go to Cheryl's website, go to our website and request this book, because at page 35 you are saying, living as a woman in a so-called man's world has therefore become easier. What do you mean by that?
Well, the thing is, we're living in a man's world, and in the 1980s, I did turn into the man that I should have married, and hence the reason why I swear a lot. And not everybody likes that. There's another story there that I'll share with you in a minute. But it's easy because we can have, as women, we can have the traits of a man. So we can be strong and we can be confident in our own female way, which is what men are. I'm talking in general here, but of course there's exceptions to every rule. But men are more, I genuinely believe they are more significance driven, and I believe that they are more competitive. Well, women can be competitive as well. However, even though a man is made up of woman, and a woman's made up of man, I genuinely believe that it's easier for a woman to have the male traits than it is for a very masculine, testosterone-led man. He finds it really difficult to be about community, to be about collaboration. It's not in his DNA. Does that make sense? So it's very difficult for a really, like an alpha male, to have some feminine side to him. That's wrong for him. And I've met a lot of men that they would never cry. I mean, my father's one, I love him to bits, but, my dad never tells us that he loves us, because the last time he told somebody, she died, and that was his mother. And she died over 50 years ago. That's but that's his upbringing, because, he was brought up to be a man's man. And I know that he loves us. I know he doesn't have to say the words, but, I just think it's easier for women to be both. Still stand in your power without having to be masculine, if you like. and stand in your feminine power. And I don't mean wearing pink and being all girly, but if that's your thing, then that's fine. But it's just knowing what you want, knowing that you are freaking awesome, and knowing that what you do is right, as long as you know you're living your purpose. Does that make sense?
Wow, Cheryl, you are so you are keep saying that you are nothing special. I think you are you are the proof that everybody is so special, because when it comes to women's event, I know we've been to this great manifestation of power and energy and vibrations, and it's so beautiful. However, I have my doubts about women only events. I have my doubts about why would women feel the need to go to their own event, why they can't join mixed events. Why women have to retire sort of in a special little bubble where women are accepted. So that's my true challenge. I cannot accept that I have to go to women's only events to go on stage and speak and show what I'm made of. I really believe that we need men as much as they need us, and we complement each other. And I think the type of energy each woman brings at the table is exactly what the boardroom, let's say, is missing at the time, because they're only men. And I think they become more and more aware of that. But I totally disagree with creating an event for women just because it's a man's world. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of in two minds, actually, because I absolutely agree with you. I think in business, the world needs more women in the boardrooms. But here's the thing, Marina, I genuinely don't believe that it's the world that's stopping the women. I think it's the women. I think it's ourselves. We allow ourselves. As you know, nobody can make you feel a certain way, and I'm sure that there are certain places in the world where perhaps the women do not, have the same kind of voice as we have in the West. But if you want to be the prime minister of a country and you're female, go and do it, because it's been done before. So there's no reason why it can't be done again. I agree. The most powerful woman in the world has been in state for, she's 90 years old, and that's the Queen of England. Possibly. We could have a female president of the United States, although I'm not quite sure, listening to the people in Toronto. It's possible. We've got Merkel in Germany. If you want to do it, you will do it. Nobody will stop you. So I think that, again, it's a little bit like, people believing in jet lag. People believe that women can't be in power. But I do believe that it's not about fighting against men. I believe if we have boards where men and women are present, we get the best of both worlds. We get the significance and the competitiveness, but we also get the collaboration. So in business, I definitely think that mixed management teams are the way forward. I've been, on the back end of being probably the token female in the group, and I metamorphosized into the men. But if I was on a board now, it would be different, because I think we just look at things in a different way. So that would mean that if we were serving somebody, whether or not that's the employees or the customers of a company, having both works brilliantly. Coming to your point about women-only events, though, my book is for women only. So I would have a woman-only event, because the guys would be sitting there going, what the hell is this all about? But as I said, there were men in the room yesterday, even though it was a women-only advertised event. And I said to them, look, I'm not here to burn my bra. You know what I mean? If I did, it would not be a pretty sight. I've got to be honest with you. I need as much, support in that area as possible at my age. But and I like men. Don't get me wrong. I love men. But what I'm trying to say with the women-only event is, look, we are in control of us, and we don't have to, do what other people say. We can stand in our power. And the only reason that I prefer the women-only events, and the Live, Love, Laugh Lounge is women-only, remember, is because I genuinely believe that when there's a man in the room, a woman can close herself down. I think that we're still in that place of we wouldn't necessarily talk about the things that we do talk about when women are together. So I think for open and sharingness, At this moment in time, a women only is good for me. I'm good with that. But I don't believe in, a woman only, world, or a woman only business.
So basically for you, in your vision, what you are creating, that community of powerful women, is a nurse happens to come from, because otherwise they'll never grow by themselves within a male environment into the person they need to be, they need to grow into to deliver their own passion. So this is absolutely brilliant, and I think you are a genius. I just want to make a point when coming to sales, is this gossip around about women, oh, they cannot close, and you know what I'm thinking, who is talking about closing? Selling is not about closing. Selling is about opening the gates into something they need. Whatever it is that you are selling, you don't need to hard sell. You don't need to close anyone. You have to open their mind. So this is my view on the gossipy, the rumor that women can't close. What do you think?
Interesting, because I've been in sales for a long, long time, and I have to say that I think there are both men and women who don't close the deal. But I love the way that you described that, then, Marina, because it makes it sound like a really hard and fast kind of, like almost like a too much strong, a strong hand. I'm going to close the deal. I do believe that the deal needs closing, but not in a kind of transactional way. So, for example, last night I was at a little VIP reception, and I'm chatting away to the women. And I said to this one woman, I said, oh, what do you do? So I'm finding out about her. I want to know what she does. I'm interested. I'm stood talking to her. And she needs what I have to offer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because it's not about you selling something or closing her. It's about her feeling to herself. Hello?
Hello, yes, I'm here. Yeah, it is, but what I'm saying is that I had the conversation with her, and then I said to her, I said, why didn't you buy my program? And she just thought about it, and she said, because I'm so busy at the minute, and I've got this to do and that to do, and I'm helping my son, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing that. I said, that's exactly the reason why you should come, my lovely, because who do you go to when you need help? And
totally.
she couldn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't answer me. So, so I just said to her, I said, I'm telling you now, I can help you, and I know you need me. So if you want to buy my product, then please go and see, that lady over there, and I look forward to working with you. So for me, that's closing the deal, because I could have just stood there and had general chit chat with her, but I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to help women to wake up, stand in their power, and become freaking awesome. And so I can't do that without being a little bit in their face sometimes. And I can't do that without saying to them, why don't you come and join me? Why don't you let me help you? Why don't you let Marion help you? So I've got to close the deal. But it's not in I've got some stuff, buy it now. I think those days have gone. Those days have definitely gone. It's all about serving, serve, sell. And if that sell means closing the deal, then yes, I agree with it. But interesting enough, I said I would just come back to a point. When I was telling my story, this lady came up to me and she said to me, I'm in this situation where people just, don't think that I should be doing this. And I said to her, listen, my lovely, I said, when I started doing this coaching 2 years ago, I'd never done formal coaching. Does that make sense? I didn't have any formal training in it. But I got some training afterwards, and I did a lot of self-development, and I did a lot of courses about mentoring and coaching. But the main thing for me was to get out there and just coach some people. And so someone gave me an opportunity to coach 1,600 people, 160 people, excuse me. And so I coached 160 people. But as I began that journey, somebody wrote in and complained about me. And they said, I wasn't coaching them, by the way, they'd just seen me, and they said that I was very assertive. I swore in front of people, and they thought that I was very unprofessional. And that came just as I was about to start this new journey. I'd give up everything else and focused on this one thing. And I just wanted to run back and hide, because all my life I'd been safe. I'd been, you know, I'd been careful because of that situation with me being a child, you know, with a key around my neck and my mum telling me to be careful when I was 5 years old. And I'd held that for all that time. And then the one time that I decided to do something, that I put myself out into a different arena, you know, somebody else made a comment about me. And at the time, I was absolutely devastated because I just wanted to help people. And they tried to. I don't know why, but I reckon it was some shit that they had in their life. I don't genuinely believe that they did it to try and be disruptive, but they could have lost me.
Yeah, but it was nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with you. So you remember we talked about this with other women, and we had really great conversations about it. So what other people think of you is none of your business. And it's so true.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, that woman was in the room yesterday.
Ah.
And I told my story, and I mentioned that. I mean, I would never mention her. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what was going on in her life, and I was like, you know, if I'd have listened to you, I wouldn't.
Would have been on that chair, not on stage.
Yeah, I'd have been sitting in the audience with you, and I wouldn't be up here giving the best that I can. And I know that not everybody likes me, and I'm good with that, because the people who like me and the people who I like and the people who I can help, you know, and serve, and I can even help people I don't like, but I'd rather work with people that I like and that they like me. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like, do you know what? And I just said in my message, now when I look back, I want to thank you. I want to thank you, because if you hadn't have done that, it wouldn't have driven me to do what I do now. So thank you. Because for whatever reason, it was sent to me for a reason. And that's the message I wanted to get over to the lady who came up to me, because I said to her, don't let anybody else tell you what you should do with your life, because otherwise you're now allowing them to put you on the travelator. So you always have a choice.
Oh, you know, this brings me back to to what I was thinking this morning. I had this client from China, and my broken English with their broken English, you imagine what was happening anyway. So eventually he says, you have divine works. And I stood, I almost like, you know, dropped and thought, what do you mean? And he said, it is because of you, I changed my life. But my program is called W.O.R.K.S. So then I put it together and I understood. But you know what, Cheryl? I remember a couple of years ago when I had the opportunity to teach somebody else's clients and help their mission. And it was absolutely something alien to me, something I never done before. I had no idea how to do it. I had no speech. I had no mentoring. I was just speaking from the heart. So what happened? I could not go back. I could not do what I was doing before. And people were asking me for help, and I was helping randomly. And then it was like hundreds of people. That was a full-time job. And I had no idea what to do next. However, I tried to get into a program which wasn't available. So I almost begged this coach, which I keep him in very, very high regard. And he said no. And you know what? I am so grateful that he said no, because I won't be here if he would have said yes. You see, sometimes, most of the time, there is a divine plan. And it's not about me, it's not about you. It's about the person who is listening now and is receiving the message they need to receive right now.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I think everything happens for a reason. One of the ladies, I mean, in fact, the lady that I picked out of the audience yesterday, she came on stage. She was from Scotland. So she came, we had to meet in Toronto. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like,
happened to me as well. Yes.
Yeah, there is a bigger plan going on.
Yes.
And you know, you as long as you do what you love and you love what you do and you you come from a place of, you know, genuine heart and wanting to help other people and make the best, you know, make a difference in the world, then I don't see what's wrong with that. And so, you know, if you swear, if you're a little bit off, off piste, if you're trying to stand out, then so be it. But just be yourself, because everybody else is taken. And Marion, you know, at the time when I was devastated about this email, she just said to me, I mean, you know, Marion, she's marvelous. She just said, Cheryl, you can be the juiciest, ripest cherry in the fruit bowl, and some people don't like cherries.
I tell you, I had lots of cherries lately. Thinking of you.
I'm going to Niagara Falls today. I'm getting collected in a moment, and then I'm flying home this evening. And then I'm going to spend a couple of days in the UK, and then I'm off on my travels again.
Wow. So where are you off next, Cheryl?
I am going to Thailand.
Oh my God. You know what? I wish I could come with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with Marion, so maybe we could do a triple radio works.
Yes. Yes, definitely. We are going to do that. So tell me, overall, how do you feel? I know you don't have much left, so we have just 1 or 2 minutes left. How do you feel the difference in a room? I mean, when you are in Sydney, or when you are in Canada, or when you are wherever you go, do you feel is any difference energy-wise in a room? People coming to your events are different depending on the time zone, or what is your feeling?
I think when you first meet people, they're a little bit reserved, and I don't think that really makes any difference where you are in the world. I mean, culturally, we can't even say that word. Anyway, if you're from the UK, I suppose we're a bit more patient, a bit more reserved generally. And there was a feeling of that here in Canada. I mean, you know, we've had a British influence here, haven't we? But then when I was getting them to stand up and put their hands on their hips and, you know, pretend they were stood in their knickers and shout out, "I'm freaking awesome," the room was energized. So it's just, I think generally when people first meet me, they're not quite sure what's going on. So they're a little bit quiet. But, you know, I get people coming up to me afterwards saying, "Oh my gosh, that was amazing." You know, I'll get some people who probably don't like me, as I said, that's good. But generally on the first meeting, it's the same. It's when people start working with you that I find that they start to, you know, really open up. So I can't really say I've seen too much difference. But I did notice yesterday that there are a lot of people who are not awake yet. They're not even coming out of the snooze. So they're not even a little bit inquisitive about what life might be about. So it's kind of like they're on the travelator and they're all following each other. And they're actually not aware that there's something else as an option. Does that make sense?
Total sense. And dehypnotizing them from that trance of struggle, or not knowing their true worth, or not knowing what is available for them, is a divine job, Cheryl. And you are absolutely freaking awesome. From both of us, until next time, lots of love. And go and find Cheryl somewhere in this world. She's there to help you find your why. From both of us, goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.